Gary.
Seinfuck.
I have a friend of mine and she prefers Jaeger. She's like, I don't want to do a tequila shot. Can I get Jaeger instead?
Ew.
Yeah, I don't want any crude oil. Can I get some gasoline instead?
I think that's wild. I was at a wedding with her and she like went up to the bartender and was like, do you have Jaeger? And they're like, no. No, we don't.
No, we like to serve drinks that people like, ma'am.
Oh, I just had a terrible intrusive thought. Jaeger Jello shot.
That is truly one of the worst things you've ever said to me. You've said a lot of stuff to me.
So, oh yeah, little examples.
You said that I have girly titties, I believe, and you gave him a squeeze at a time as well.
This is literally all shit you did in high school.
He did it to women. He got in trouble for
Now,
it.
whether you had very breedable titties in high school, that's up for debate.
Breedable titties. Oh my god.
I might have to cut that one.
No. We're keeping that in. All right. You breedable. That's an
I want you to
insane
leave
thing.
my lovely lady lumps out of this for once.
You're
would you?
really getting a kick out of that, Malcolm.
There's some words that really get to me, and I think like the word breedable is one that I'm just like, yeah, this one is always funny. There's not really a context in which you're like, like, oh, that's that dog real breedable. Like, it doesn't-
What?
Why would you use that as the example?
Because it doesn't work.
That's
Like, you can't,
that's
like,
more
you-
suspicious than saying a femboy is breedable. You're going straight to dogs.
It's more sus.
I think so the point is like it's not about the dog. It's that like you could say like in this scenario it could be like a dog groomer, and if you use the word breedable to describe anything.
Dog
like,
groomers do not breed dogs. They trim dogs' hair, Malcolm. Why is your dog groomer talking about breeding dogs?
People groom minors, Malcolm. They groom them to get their hair knots out.
What is wrong with you? You sick man.
Malcolm's got a fucking dog, and he's just like,
sorry, I got
oh, you want me to hire a
groomers and
groomer? What
breeders
is he gonna
wrong,
do?
all right? Ugh.
Oh, someone call Freud.
Someone call Freud immediately. Get him on the line. And you would say that your relationship with your mother is better.
Did she get you a dog?
What kind of dog? Would you describe the dog as breedable?
Could you?
I notice you have an oversized mascot head in your closet.
We're going to explain that to the authorities.
Why do the eyes move like
Why
that?
does the mouth move when your mouth move? It's actually a very high quality piece.
The
Why?
inverted kneecaps won't creep me out.
How much did you pay for this?
$700.
$700. Like, well, we put it in that like Freud is secretly a furry this entire time, and so he was just like, oh, that's actually quite a good bargain.
When was Freud alive?
Like 1870s? That's a good question. I think he was alive in like the 1910s.
You were correct. He was alive in the 1910s.
Would you say that he missed out on a gold mine by being dead before, say,
Tumblr.
the 1980s and everything that happened afterwards? Like, he wasn't around for furries.
He wasn't around for Reagan.
Wasn't around for internet pornography. What do you think Freud would have to say about this, Robert? You're the expert. You took classes.
I think Freud would be working very lucratively in Beverly Hills as like one of those like he rents out like a hotel room, like ball, or not a ball, but like a space at a hotel room, and he just gives like motivational speeches like disconnect you from your psyche, the elements of success. Reading the psychology of success.
No. He's got a daytime talk show. It's called the Sigmund Freud Show, or Sigmund.
Sigmund Freud. Welcome to the Sigmund Freud Show. Ba-da-ba-da.
Welcome to the Freudian Slip with me, your host.
Yeah, it's like Maury.
Oh, the Freudian Slip. Oh, I love that. That's the show.
Yeah, this Freudian Slip on syndicated television just after Maury. Friedman Slip.
Friedman Slip. What is it?
Friedman Slip.
Freudian Slip.
Freudian Slip.
The irony.
And then it like ends with like what is it? That other guy? Who is the
Dr.
the
Phil?
guy?
Are you thinking of?
Not Dr. Phil. I was thinking of the guy who was the Springer bodyguard that got his own show.
Oh, shoot. I wasn't actually allowed to watch any of those shows.
Yeah, I didn't. My mom said that shit would rot my brain. She was right, but she couldn't stop me once I was 18.
Wilkos. It's the Steve Wilkos show. He's got.
Okay. Yeah. Doesn't he have like a podcast or something nowadays?
They all have podcasts. That's the thing. Everyone has a podcast.
Conan has a podcast.
Yeah, Harrison Ford was on it recently, and it was very funny.
Did you guys see the new Indiana Jones?
I did not.
No, I haven't.
Oh my goodness! I want to spoil it for you.
Is it bad or?
It's horrible.
You can spoil it for me.
No, I don't want to spoil it, but I don't want to spoil like the overarching plots. But if there's a really bad moment of it,
I want to tell you so bad. You have to like be okay with it though.
Fine.
I do know what happened to Shia LaBeouf's character. I do know how they.
So that's crazy because there's a woman character that is written exactly the same as Shia LaBeouf's character, and I feel like that was supposed to be Shia LaBeouf. But like he wouldn't do it, or like he's in jail again or something.
Oh, are you talking about what's her name, the actress from Fleabag?
Yeah, I don't care for her.
She's really good in her own things.
Yeah, like Fleabag.
Robert knows her for one thing. Is just like her claim to fame, obviously Fleabag.
Well, no, because she wrote and directed it because it was based off a one-woman show she did, and so that's kind of one of the things. Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
One person shows, dude.
She actually managed to have a successful one-woman show, so good for her.
I can't picture myself at a one-man or woman show.
For me, it's crazy that Phoebe Waller-Bridge, they saw Fleabag, and then Amazon was like, let's get her to write the Tomb Raider show.
That one, get her. I showed someone Goldfinger for the first time the other day, and they are used to like the Daniel Craig Bonds, and they were like, what the fuck are we watching? This is like a Nickelodeon James Bond movie.
It's like the original James Bond movie. Yeah, I'm sorry, not all of them have $100 million budgets, but you know.
Moonraker is great. You know what I really loved? I loved playing like the James Bond games when they would come out. Those games, like I wish they would do a new one with some of the new characters, but also like when they would do like Moonraker levels, or they would do like Live and Let Die, or the Man.
I never played any of the video games other than Goldeneye with you, Harper, like 10 years after the fact on your N64.
I'm sorry, I gotta tell you about this Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah. Let's talk more about it.
The whole story is, you know, that little British guy. I forget which indie movie he's from. It might have been the Crystal
Toby
Stone.
Jones.
Yeah, Toby Jones. He's gone insane because he was researching something called the Dial of Archimedes. There's a scene in the beginning of the movie where there's a Nazi played by that guy who was the villain in Casino Royale. I can't remember that guy's name. It starts with an M.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah.
Great actor.
Amazing actor. In Drook. Drook is one of my favorite movies.
It's funny. So I worked on a commercial that was directed by this guy who directed this movie called Charlie Countryman. And the one question I had asked of him, it was a movie that starred Mads Mikkelsen, Evan Rachel Wood, Shia LaBeouf. And all I did was I asked him, was like, what is Mads Mikkelsen like in real, like in person? Like, what is this guy like? I could not give a shit about Shia LaBeouf. I didn't really care about Evan Rachel Wood, him, and then also I asked about Vincent D'Onofrio.
You didn't ask about Rupert Grint, who's apparently also in the movie?
Yes, I didn't ask. I didn't care about that. I was Well, this was also around the time when I was watching Hannibal, which is a great fucking show.
You would like Hannibal.
This is a great show.
Hey, you're like shitting on it as if it's a bad show. It's like
I just always have hated serial killers, so it's like one of my thing. I'm never gonna like serial killers. The furthest I go into serial killers is like The Zodiac, which is just a really good movie.
No, not the Unabomber. Didn't like him.
He's not a serial killer. He's a political activist.
He's a hero.
He's one of my heroes, Harper. Shut up about the Unabomber.
You know, in Turkey they call him.
He'd have made a great podcast guest on the Dr. Jordan Peterson show.
I think it was the Kaczynski death episode. Robert was just like, yeah, in Turkey they call him the Great Chieftain or something.
They do.
So Mads Mikkelsen plays a great Nazi.
I remember watching a really good Western with him in it, and it also has, I think, Evan Rachel Wood in it.
He plays a great Nazi, is my point. And they're on a train. Indy the little English guy, and Mads Mikkelsen. He's like hanging on by the edge, trying to get on top of the train with Indy and the little British guy, and a pipe hits him square in the face at like however fast they're going. You're like, oh, he's fucking dead. His skull's been caved in. And it flashes forward to him talking about the Dial of Archimedes, Indy, you know?
And he's just got what, a fucked up face?
But he's secretly seeking the Dial of Archimedes, right? He eventually gets both pieces of it through chicanery and reveals that it is a time travel device and that he wants to go back in time and restore the Reich.
wait, that's the plot of the movie.
That's the plot of the movie.
Mads Mikkelsen is a Nazi. He's going using time travel to undo the fall of the Third Reich.
Yes, that's correct.
That is a screenwriter's wet dream, and it would never work in real life. It would never work as a script.
It's an Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, wait a minute. The whole movie is a time travel movie?
It's a time travel movie. And do you know where they end up? They do go back in time is the worst part.
Do they go to JFK's assassination?
No, that would be so fucking funny, though.
No, it wouldn't have been because they're still in like the 40s, right? So they're not even.
Well, they could have gone
70s,
forward. It's it's in the 70s. That's even better because then it could be like, oh my God, Indiana Jones killed JFK all along.
I'd love that if that was a subplot of the movie.
I'd write. That's what I would write. That's what I would write in order to keep the continuity.
They're on like a B-52 junker. Fucking and Mads Mikkelsen and his goons change into straight up Nazi uniforms to prepare to restore the Reich. They go through the wormhole, and Indy's just like, your calculations are wrong.
Wait, there's a fucking wormhole?
Did you account? Yeah, there's a wormhole because of the Dial of Archimedes.
Okay,
they didn't bother to explain it in case you were wondering.
There's just like a fucking Avengers ass fucking hole in the world.
That's correct. It's in the sky actually. So they go
in the sky.
Wait, it's a sky beam?
Yeah,
no,
it's literally a glowing yellow portal in the sky, and they're flying through it in Nazi uniforms in a junker. And Indiana Jones is like, did you account for continental drift, Mads Mikkelsen? He's just like, what do you mean continental drift? What could you possibly mean by this? And he's about to go through the portal. He's just like, oh, fuck, my calculations were wrong. Turn the fuck around. And then it's too late. They go through the portal, and they at the fucking siege of Napoli.
What? They end up in the Roman times?
Yeah, they're in the siege of Napoli, and there's a bunch of triremes in the water, and they're flying a junker.
Wait. What do you mean continental drift? Continents move like an inch every like 10 years. Why would that?
Because from Archimedes' time to 1960.
Oh, but that's still not. No,
it's not significant. No, but maybe in the film's screenwriting.
Some fucking screenwriter in that room. Someone in that writer's room is really proud of himself for that.
I mean, for me, the idea of continental drift is I would love it just to see like shots of like kind of Fast and the Furious style of like the continents like moving kind of suddenly, like, and then you cut to massive earthquakes of people being like, the world,
how do you calculate that on the fucking dial made in the fucking Greek? Okay, go on.
Not even to the best part. So the Romans are seeing a fucking B-52, and they hit it with the giant fucking steel javelins they have. What are they called? The ballistas?
Ballista.
It takes out one of the fucking junker engines.
Wait, are they saying a Roman fucking trireme is going to take out a B-52 fucking bomber?
Yeah, a bomber. And it hits it in the engine, and it's smoking, and it's flying by, and the Romans are just like, holy shit, a dragon!
A dragon?
They're like, Napoli's got a fucking dragon, and Napoli's looking up like, holy fuck, the Romans have a dragon.
This is so dumb. Are they speaking in English or is it subtitled?
It's in Latin.
Okay, well,
there's a lot of Latin without subtitles, actually. But
as someone who took Latin in college, I'm not
even to the best part. It gets into a room, and there's a guy in the traditional Roman garb, the toga with the sash and everything. And he's running out, and it shows the dial on the desk. And the assistant is just like, Master Archimedes, we have to leave. They have dragons. And Archimedes is just like, no, I still have to. There's not enough time. They go outside, and Indiana Jones has crash landed. I think he parachuted down, actually, onto the beach during the siege. And Archimedes, for some reason, shows up. And he's like, what the fuck are you all? What are you doing here? I think Mads Mikkelsen did not survive the crash, in case you were wondering.
I was gonna
But-
ask. Yeah.
So he's not even there for the final part of the movie. He just like dies in a plane crash, and then they're like, "We gotta escape from the Romans."
But yeah. So the third act of the movie is Indiana Jones escaping from Roman times.
He doesn't want to escape is the thing. He's just like, I've always wanted to meet this is a wet dream for me. I have to stay here. I have so much to do."
I'm literally about to nut, dude.
He's like, quick! He's like, "Where's Caligula? I need to go to one of his orgies."
Where's Caligula? He's like pushing through people. Caligula! But
Where is he? Where is he? He turns into Batman Begins Batman.
Where is he? I must come for you.
So also, in fucking Indiana Jones just can speak Latin.
Yeah,
Of course he can.
I assumed he could.
He's an archaeologist. He
He's an
knows all
archaeologist.
languages.
He has to know Latin, right? And he's speaking Latin to Archimedes. He's just like, in my time, you're a great man, and you've done great things. And Archimedes is just like, check out this cool dial.
That's real interesting, bro. But look at this thing I just made.
There's like an Indian or not Indian, like a Southwest Pacific Island version of Short Round in this.
Oh, no, short round, yeah.
Yeah, and Indy's like with the Shia LaBeouf proxy. I don't remember her name, and I think they called her Wombat. I don't get it, but anyway,
yeah, because isn't she supposed to be like the daughter of the English guy?
She's the daughter of the English guy.
But can I say I do know how they they get around not having Shia LaBeouf's character in the movie, and I do think it's one of the worst cop-outs ever. Now, especially now that I found out that this is a time travel movie, like
it's even worse than So it is, but like Helena's just like, she starts speaking Latin to fucking Archimedes, just like, look, you're super cool, and I'm a big fan. She like says that verbatim. I'm a big fan. She's like, no solo mina fan, like
what?
Archimedes is just like, what the fuck does that mean? She's like, you can't stay here, and Indy's just like, I gotta stay here. I was made to stay here. So she like cold clocks him, and the South Pacific Islander Short Round is in a biplane, and they drag him back to the 21st century or 20th century, and he wakes up with his love interest from the previous 3 films, I think. I'm
completely lost.
That's it. That's how it ends. They just end up back in the 1960s.
Oh, Marion's. Oh,
Marion.
From the fucking first movie, Marion? What happened to Shia LaBeouf? Malcolm, you've been teasing this. What happened to Shia LaBeouf?
So Shia LaBeouf is, before the start of the movie, his character is just killed in Vietnam. He just died.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Dude, you just know that was supposed to be Shia LaBeouf playing that character. And they had to be like, oh, Shia LaBeouf is a cancelable person to have on set.
So they fucking haired the musical fucking Shia LaBeouf's character and had him killed in action in Vietnam.
It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, because, he goes from that arc of, being called Mutt Williams.
Mutt, dude, I forgot his name was Muttley or whatever it was.
Mutt Williams, yeah,
he rode a motorcycle.
Yeah, they called him.
He was a greaser from the 50s, and instead of a switchblade, he had a switch comb.
Play a 1950s greaser.
He was a greaser. He's a greaser who dies in Vietnam. Like, that's what this arc is.
So incredible.
And also, he goes by Mutt Williams, but he was born Henry Walton Jones III.
Spielberg's a genius. Don't ever question Spielberg ever again.
Fucking I am doing so heavily.
I have to say, so I was just watching The Fabelmans, and there's a sequence in like the beginning of the movie. Out of nowhere, there's like, it's like all like the early days of like, young Spielberg and his family. It's like random dinner time scene, and then the next cuts, and they're like, looks like there's a tornado outside. And I was like, what? And there's this whole sequence where like all these kids, so there's like 3 kids and a baby, and the mother and the father, they're like all running out. They're like, my God, it's a tornado. And then the mother looks at the 3 kids, like has the baby and has, gives the baby to the father and like goes, "Hey kids, you gotta get in the car. We gotta go to we gotta go see this tornado." And they drive towards the tornado.
His mom fucking storm chasing.
Yeah, there's a whole storm chasing sequence. And I thought like, oh, like he's gonna film the tornado and it's gonna be like one of his first like his disaster movie. Nope, he doesn't have a camera. His mom is just driving the three kids, and instead she like gets to a point where like it's dangerously close to the tornado, and then she just she starts crying, and she's just like everything happens for a reason, and then just smash cut, and then they're in Phoenix. Like that's.
I mean,
that's
I guess
where everyone ends up instead of fucking
don't
instead of the yellow brick road, they end up in fucking Sky Harbor Airport.
all roads lead to Sky Harbor Airport.
Yeah, so I was just like, this is absolutely nuts. Also, David Lynch is in the movie. Like he just
as was his name? Not Robert Ford or Robert
John,
Ford.
No, John Ford. Like I was thinking about it after watching the film, and so I'm like, I'm not convinced that Steven Spielberg has made a truly great movie since the early 2000s.
It's just a very weird thing with Steven Spielberg, because
Him and Lucas got weird as they got older.
It got weird as they got older, but then they were just like extremely successful at relatively young ages. I mean, like if we talk about like Spielberg's like very first movie, he made it when he was like 23, and they gave him $600,000 in 1971, which is the equivalent of like $15 million nowadays. It's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Imagine giving a 23-year-old millions of dollars to make a movie.
They gave Lucas like full rights to the movie, all the money he needed to make it. He like got extremely lucky and had it fucking saved in post. Did you ever see any of the original cut of The New Hope?
No,
It's boring.
I probably would have liked it more if it was weirder.
It was weird, but it was a lot of like almost Shakespearean scenes where Uncle Owen and like Luke are just like walking around the outside of a Tatooine building, just like hot again today, and Luke's like, "Yep."
I mean, one of Spielberg's earliest directing credits, he was like 19 and he directed an episode of Columbo, Murder by the Book. Great episode.
That was a great episode of Columbo.
But I was going to say, like, I think his last probably great movie was either Minority Report or Catch Me If You Can. Like, he makes technically well-made movies, but he's not doing anything like Martin Scorsese. Like, when Martin Scorsese, he's making movies where you're like, holy shit, he's like almost 80 and he's got Leonardo DiCaprio doing coke out of Margot Robbie's ass. Like that's
God bless him. God bless him.
You're like, this is like the most wholesome dad director, and then you see his movies, you're like, oh my god.
I mean, just imagine if that, like, this is a little personal like beef of mine, honestly, if I'm gonna be honest. It's just like how old you have to be nowadays to do anything.
I mean, measuring success by age has never been a healthy behavior. Granted,
no, it's not. I wholly admit that. It'll be some of the first, but like if we're talking about
everyone will bring up Colonel Sanders, by the way, if you try to do that, they're just like, well, Colonel Sanders didn't do fuck of all until he was 62.
50. Yeah, he was in his 50s and 60s. Rapport, thank you very much. The Colbert Report.
I don't respect Colbert enough to properly pronounce that, or pronounce, excuse me, the name of that show.
It was, I mean, I liked Colbert Report, and I just, you know.
Why? Why did you like it?
Because I was 14, and it's what my family watched, and along with SNL.
I sure hope they get that Bush guy.
Yeah. I really like that Jon Stewart guy. He tells you like it.
Jon Stewart's still out there fucking talking truth to power. Jon Stewart's incredible. Colbert's a fucking whipped little establishment bitch now.
Like, I will say that Stephen Colbert is probably, of the late night hosts right now, the best interviewer. Like, I'll actually listen to some of his interviews because he has clips where you're like, that's pretty poignant. Like,
Harper's face.
He's the best. If you're talking about, listen, I want to make this perfectly clear. It's a very shallow pool. Like, we're talking, it's a puddle.
Like, Fallon, yeah, it's like two people.
Yeah, if you're going like, okay, if you're going to ask who's the best interviewer of this bunch, I'm going to name names, all right? Is it the best interview?
Name names, Harper. He's gonna name names.
Yeah, Harper. What's the best interviewer? Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, or
You mean Kimball? You mean Jimmy Kimmel?
Did you say Conan yet?
No, I said Kimmel.
You said Kimball.
I said
Sasha,
Kimmel.
tell us if he said Kimball or Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimball. Kimball. I said Kimmel.
You did not.
And then, or James Corden. And if you want to be spicy,
You put James Corden on the list as a joke. Come on.
the joke was going to be Carson Daly for last call, but
That's pretty good too. I'm gonna have to say Jimmy Fallon because he's objectively Chadley by making his production staff entirely.
yeah, he's actively getting canceled right now.
He is. It's so funny. He like walked around his office and made people as uncomfortable as possible, and then slammed his hand on the desk and laughed the entire production and made his guests even more uncomfortable. It's probably a perfect storm of talk show hosts. He like knew his career trajectory was going down since leaving SNL,
so he just didn't care.
which is pretty bad if you think about it. Like you should be going up from SNL. SNL is like the launching point of a comedic career.
Well, it used to be. I mean, not so much nowadays. Now you go to on SNL to die.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like Kenan Thompson aside, you could still make yourself a nice little career, carve a nice little niche for yourself out there. There are still comedic actors like that guy with the big dick that gets all the ladies. That's fairly
Pete Davidson, the one we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, the guy with the big wiener. And just the fact that Fallon has snatched defeat from the jaws of victory in such a funny way, it makes him the greatest talk show host of all time, in my opinion.
All right. I'm not going to take this Conan slander from you. All right,
Conan got forced out decades ago. Malcolm, let it go.
Conan is just so inoffensive. You can't hate Conan.
Yeah, listen. Conan's the goat. I want that on the record.
I don't think goats get podcasts, and that includes us.
That's
so fucked up. His podcast is good.
Listen, this is the realest form of entertainment, all right? This is where we're philosophers, all right? We're truth tellers. This is unfiltered, Sasha. Just make the audio real low quality for that. We're unfiltered. We have high production standards, all right?
Yeah. See, I can say things like,
oh my God.
Fuck.
Oh, it's okay. You all were thinking it.
Or Sasha, because we have such good quality of standards, right? So that when we say it, it's all unfiltered. Cut that, please. I need you to cut that.
Can we cut that in post, please?
Sasha, please cut that out.
Yeah, delete that. Edit it.
And frankly, I don't care if you guys are offended by it. I still don't think that they should vote. So yeah, I think that actually the objectively best interviewer of all time, like if you look by bombacity of guests.
I didn't say all time, by the way. I just said of the current crop.
Of the current crop, you could say that too. How many people of substance has Joe Rogan had on to talk about just bullshit? No, he's had some real important people on there.
We all talk about Joe Rogan, but we're not talking enough about the other Joe Rogan.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson. No, it was a Jay Shetty, I think is his name.
Yeah.
He's like that British
I know
guy. Like he's got this podcast that's like super popular. I was like on the channel.
Oh, he's one of these guys who talks at TEDx or stuff and shit like that.
Yeah. So he has this channel where he does like this podcast that's self-titled. And he interviews. He's interviewed Joe Biden. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah. Jay Shetty is a storyteller, podcaster, and former monk.
Former monk. Holy fuck.
His vision is to make wisdom go viral in an accessible, relevant, and practical way.
What did he level as a dual class for monk? Did he just
Bard, apparently.
Bard, yeah. So what would you ask Joe Biden if you had him for one question?
That's actually a good question.
Me personally, I would ask him what flavor of ice cream he thinks is the worst. You could tell a lot about a person if they say mint chocolate chip.
I want to know. I want to just talk exclusively about corn pop. That's all I would talk about.
You have a gun in your hand. You're just like, who's corn pop?
I guess I'd ask him, do you think Hunter Biden is as cool as I think he is?
Oh, no.
Was it Hunter's Coke?
He's a cool guy, all right? Listen, I want to be on the record. I'm saying a lot this episode. On the record, the Republicans just want Hunter Biden's cock on record. That's all they want. They want to.
They already have it on camera. Fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene showed it on the congressional floor.
I just can't stop thinking about that Tucker Carlson Trump interview. I really can't.
Well, okay,
Funny.
what was the highlight? What was the highlight about the Trump interview?
Definitely him poorly evading the Epstein question was the highlight of that interview, where Trump was like, I don't know anything about the Epstein thing or why he's been punished. It sounds like it was run very badly, and that's why they were allowed to sneak in and kill him. And Tucker, God bless him, he's a homer. He didn't answer with, well, didn't you run that facility?
Weren't you the president?
Just like, yeah. And then Trump was immediately just like, now what you got to watch for is these guys that are doing the vote tallying. Forget about Epstein.
Oh, fuck off.
Dude, I can't believe they let that shit air. Tucker Carlson on X, by the way.
Yeah, on
probably
X.
one of the most unhinged shows I've ever
X.
seen. The first, his debut show, he was just like, Congress has confirmed that aliens exist. Yep, that's just real.
And didn't Fox News immediately be like, we're going to sue you if you keep doing this show?
He kept doing it, so.
They probably settled something out of court.
I think they were both thinking that he would not do it. They'd be like, oh, the threat's enough. And also part of me, it's so irrelevant to boomers that boomers aren't really participating in that. Boomers are like, Tucker's gone. I guess we'll move on to the next guy.
Exactly.
The next Bill O'Reilly, please.
I recently, I had a thing that happened yesterday where I had to go. My grandmother called me and she was in a panic. She's like, oh, my friend Cheryl, she says my Facebook's been hacked. I need to change my password. I don't know how to change my password. And so I'm trying to walk my grandmother through how to change the password for her Facebook account. And she's like, I'm in my iPad settings. How do I change the password here? I'm like, nope, you got to change it in the Facebook app itself. Yep. And then she was like, I don't know. I'm going to be up all night if I don't get this done. So I'm just like, fine. I'll come over. So I went over to your grandmother. My grandmother lives about 10 minutes away from me. So I took my e-scooter and I e-scootered over there.
That's right. He his balls just dragged across the pavement the entire time. The weighty, massive testicles that it's
a real magnet. It's a babe magnet.
It to kick off the women as they fought fiercely in order to get on the back.
I wear my Scarfly scooter and people are like, this guy.
He stands very erect while holding the fucking scooter.
He's not talking about his posture, lady.
And so I go over to my grandma's house. I go and I see it. And first of all, she's like, I go so what happened? Why do you, because I can log into the account. The account seems fine. She's just like, yeah, but Cheryl said she got a message from someone who was me. And that's not me. And I posted on my Facebook. And I just go, oh, so I think what happened is someone maybe impersonating you. You're getting
just made a profile that looked like hers. Yeah. Said, oh, it's me.
And then I was trying to show her how to do the, I go show her how to change her password. And then she just goes, I don't understand how you do it. I don't understand how you do it so easy. I wish there would just be some sort of book that was written on how to do this stuff.
Well, there's a book with a face on it.
There's a PDF right there. It's the same shit. And she's just like, no, I can't be asked.
She wants physical media on how to change her Facebook.
She wants the collector's edition.
And then I had to help her, she had to sign a document. So I had to set up DocuSign for her and stuff. And I'm just like,
there we go. DocuSign with boomers.
Yeah, that'll really help her not get scammed.
I think my dad was trying to convince me that DocuSign is not legally binding since it's not their actual signature.
That's not true. That's incorrect. Your dad is lying to you.
I know your
dad is trying to game the system.
I have a worry that your dad has signed some documents that he doesn't want out there.
Listen, when the shoe falls, I'll be in a different country.
They basically gave me the car. I DocuSigned it.
Look,
I don't have to pay.
I already told Sasha. Sasha's talked about it with me. When the other shoe falls, I'll move to Vancouver in the cover of night. I'll change my name to Elliot Pierce, and I will be a Canucks fan. No one will ever suspect that I'm there.
You're going to become the king of Canucks Twitter in
that would
30
suck,
days.
Honestly, that would suck. Not only would I be notorious amongst Canadian Twitter, but I would be a cheerleader for quite possibly the only other team that Bedard could go to. And I'd have to deal with that guy's face for the rest of my life. I'm already sick of seeing it. When we could be talking about the number one draft prospect in the world, Logan Cooley. while we're on the subject, it's a new thing I want to start here. We have an image, and I'll be searching for these images weekly.
Oh yeah.
It's our Habs fan of the week.
Oh.
Habs fans, as you all know, are possibly the best representatives of the French Canadian species because they concentrate all their negative values into one convenient personality, a prick. So in this particular Habs fan of the week, we have a gentleman wearing a number 6 Weber sweater in a urinal, and between his feet while he pisses in that john are his nachos, where all the splash could be absorbed for extra flavor, to give it that authentic Mexican flavor. I'd like to encourage our listeners out there, if you have a Habs fan you would like to submit for Habs fan of the week, please send it to one of our social media accounts or email it to us at seinfrick@gmail.com. That's SEINFRICK@gmail.com. We would love to feature your dumbass Habs fans and publicly mock them and fillet them with our extremely sharp and witty commentary.
This has been Harper's attempts to derail this into a hockey podcast, but
it's not a hockey podcast. I just hate French Canadians.
You're sort of speaking like a real Canadian there, and the real Canadian talk. But I want to say right now, like, for the image that's like out there, it's that it's a Habs fan. He's wearing a Shea Weber jersey. He's got nachos underneath a urinal in which he's pissing actively, like, into the urinal. I have a question for the two of you, which is, would you rather, like, would you rather have nachos covered in your own piss, or set the nachos by the sink, but someone gets a little bit of soapy water on the nachos? What's your choice?
It's not a choice. It's not a fucking choice.
I wouldn't take the nachos to the bathroom with me in the first place. I would leave them in my
that's
seat.
the thing. The real answer is don't buy the nachos after you go to the bath.
Piss.
It's that's Stadium Etiquette 101. All right, that's like
gotta piss. Leave the nachos at the seat.
Yeah,
go leave it at the seat. No one's gonna touch your fucking nachos in the seat.
Yeah, I also want to say that what bothers me as well is he's wearing like maroon colored shoes, and they're just like off enough that they're like fade enough. Where I'm like, just buy red shoes. Like you're like,
he thought that outfit was stone cold. He's just like, I will go to the Habs game and I will put on my shit heel maroon shoes, and I will give some nachos while I am there.
Like, it's a public bathroom as well. Like, it's one thing if you were like, you brought your chips into your own personal bathroom because you took a quick whiz.
A quick whiz is different than
but it's like in a public. He's on the floor. It's like
you're right, though, Malcolm.
Yeah,
right. I would leave that at the sink. I would much rather risk some soapy water than my literal urine. Do you think he like heard that line in Dodgeball where he's like, I drink my own urine because it's sterile and I like the taste?
Yeah.
Like took it too literally. This
is not sterile, by the way. That's not how that works.
Yeah, the only reason you should drink your own piss is in a survival situation,
or if you're Bear Grylls, or if you really like get off on it.
Yeah.
Or if it's a fetish thing.
We're not.
Yeah, if it's a kink, like if it's a fetish, like go off.
That was our Habs fan of the week. Thank you so much for participating in this little segment that I'm going to be featuring going forward every week. I want to make a condom brand that has like a maximum penile length of 3 inches and call it Little Smokies. What do you think? What if I flavor?
I like that.
What if I flavor them like meats, like different meats? Is there a market for me, Sharks? I'm asking for $1 million for 5%.
Listen, I know a guy who runs a chain of vape shops, and he's going to be very interested.
Let's cut this. Let's cap this off with a listener response or a question from the listener.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I was going to say we should we got to end it with our listener question.
No, it's just like, please get me out.
Oh God. Okay, so this is a question that comes from a listener who would like to be addressed as Sophia. Okay. And their song suggestion is Charlie XCX Speed Drive. Okay, their question is, longtime listener, first time form filler outer, Should be a hyphen there. I have a hypothetical.
My God, you can't help yourself.
I can't. I really
What do you
can't.
mean there should be a hyphen there? We're listening. We don't know there should be a hyphen. Just fill it in. Use your mind.
You're the only one who gets to read this.
I know I'm the worst. Just. Okay, long-time listener, first-time form filler outer. I have a hypothetical for you guys. If your girlfriend was given a penis for one day, would you let her fuck you with it? Why
Absolutely.
or why not?
Absolutely.
Would you want to, Harper, hold on. Would you want to keep your penis the day she has a penis, or would you want to be given a vagina the day she gets a penis? Please discuss. Thanks, Seinfuckers.
Well, first of all, absolutely. There's something you need to know about men, and that's that
The G-spot is in the ass?
the G-spot's in the ass. That's something we should all know.
I was drinking water, asshole.
He's drinking water on a comedy podcast. Look at him.
Fuck you.
So another thing you have to know is that we think dicks are perhaps the funniest thing in the world.
They are.
That kind of bond we have with penis. If she only has it for a day, well, when in Rome, frankly.
Well, you just like sword fight your girlfriend all day? Is that basically what you're
Not all
thinking?
day, maybe for like a couple hours. Are you gonna tell me you wouldn't immediately go buy glow in the dark condoms and be like, I always wanted to do that, I always wanted to do this again, try it live?
We did that years ago. Why did you forget?
No, I did forget. It's a very special memory. Very special to me. I hold it near and dear, but
So my
you're not a woman,
favorite
you don't have
memories.
anyway. And then you get to see who pitches and who bats. It's a whole new thing. You get to explore a whole different side of yourself.
Malcolm,
Not
what how would you let your girlfriend fuck you if she grew a penis for a day?
I don't know. I don't
Would
think
she want
so.
to fuck you is another question.
Would she want to?
Would you want to fuck
There's a
your
lot.
ass?
I'm a big guy. I'm a tall man.
She's like,
Yeah.
can you like not eat for the rest of the day?
She like knows ahead of time, just like, okay, you gotta not, honey. I know this is gonna sound weird, but you gotta not eat for like 24 hours.
I don't eat that much, everyone. But
Well, that's what you're supposed to do if you don't have clean water to do an enema. Fucking Malcolm,
Yeah.
come on.
are you implying that I don't have clean water? That's
You are in Vancouver. I don't know.
we
what
have the
you guys
cleanest
are up
water
to.
in the world. You're in
to who?
Arizona.
Flint?
You sold your water to the Saudis.
Who? Not me. Anyway, I don't want to like the whole purpose of the not eating thing is that you do that in combination with an enema. It just makes the whole process much. Anyway,
A lot cleaner, yeah.
I think that's a lot of work, but I do like the idea of just kind of like going around and like helicoptering with them together. Like I think that's a fun couples activity.
well, she would do it. I don't know if you could.
I could.
I could. Yes, I could.
God damn it, you're right, I could.
We all have big dicks on this podcast. Okay?
Absolutely. Above 5
Yeah, I mean,
inches.
not,
above
Harper's
5
just
inches
selling little
flaccid.
smokers for no
Little
little
smokies.
smokies for no reason.
He's doing it for
The little people.
for the people with the he's helping our little brethren out.
For the more downtrodden of us.
Solidarity.
Yeah.
Solidarity.
I mean,
let's be completely frank about this question, because I guess I'll answer it. If my girlfriend grew a penis for a day, she would not fuck me. She'd be fucking her friends. That is just 100% a fact.
That's kind of
just
true.
a fact.
I'd be like, I'll open the relationship up for this day so you can like fulfill your fantasies.
She wouldn't even consult me. Let's
it's
be
like
honest.
Orson Welles just answered that question or something. Why don't you pick something a little bit less realistic, Robert? It's a hypothetical.
Yeah,
fuck
she
her friends.
would get a penis and then she would leave me, and then I'd be sad again.
She would be famous as the woman with the hot woman with a penis, and I would be forgotten. I'd be a shelf in time.
It wouldn't even been that. I would just be like begging on the sidelines to be a third. That would be like the extent. I'm
What's that
sorry.
movie that Poe Dameron played in where he was like a down on his luck musician?
Oh, you're thinking of Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yeah, you meet Llewyn Davis, Robert. Your girlfriend grew a dick, and you just become that sad sack.
Hey, I'm just playing music with Justin Timberlake.
First of all, you wouldn't even suck it, by the way.
No.
No,
He's gay. No chance.
Wait, I'm gay because I won't suck dick.
Absolutely.
I accept all genders.
We need an off ramp.
Malcolm.
But I will
leave
say
that at
this. I will say this. Like I've had a girl put a finger up there, and I didn't love it. It wasn't enthralling to
She
me.
didn't do it right. I would do it right.
But it kind of came. It was a bit of a surprise. All right. It was like oh. I was like,
That's the
know.
big problem. She didn't clear it with you first, so you were tight as a snare drum. That's the fucking problem.
She didn't KY the digit up. She didn't do any of that. She just
she just like
Robert, that was way too fucking slick in terminology. Why did you say it like that?
No, she didn't do
good,
that.
right?
That's a practice phrase if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
KY
Robert's
up
in the
the
mirror
digit.
like,
Yeah.
KY the digit.
You know what I do in my off hour.
You sit on your hands, apparently.
We gotta cut the plot or something.
No, we're still answering the question.
The exasperation on Robert's face right now.
He does not want to answer this. I've been through this debate with him.
Okay,
Get off the off ramp. Get off the off ramp.
I'm literally just like, how are we not on the same page here? It's baffling. Thank you for listening.
Well, thank you for listening.
Let's sing Let's Groove tonight together. All right.
Let's groove tonight.
Let the boogie down.
Down.
Let's groove tonight.
Down.
Spoken word. Let's groove tonight.
Hi, everyone. It's me again, acclaimed author of The Road, Cormac McCarthy. Press next to hear another one of my thoughts on the Seinfuck podcast. I know it was overdone in the earlier episodes, but I think my favorite bit is still the cum goblin. I'm still getting caught up, so here's hoping they bring it back.